Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, we are going to make some cheesy grits, keto style. Now obviously, we can't use real grits since we're keto. Let's take a look at the carbs on this. 29 grams total carbs in a serving, 27 net. We're going to use ground lupin beans for our grits, and that is going to put us somewhere between 2 and 3 net grams of carbs. Now I had one of my viewers turn me on to lupin beans. He told me that it makes for a great keto breading, which I haven't tried yet. But as soon as I got it and I looked at the back of the bag for how to make it, I saw a recipe that seemed awfully similar to grits. Now, I like my grits with cheese and chilies. So that's the way that we're going to make it here today. But first, let me just tell you what the carbs are like on this ground lupin bean. In 1/3 of a cup of dried lupin beans, not prepared yet, wait till you see how these things expand when they're prepared, but in 1/3 of a cup, 16 grams of total carbohydrates, 15 of which are fiber. Now, as always, I will have the printable recipe with all of the macros out on my website, seriousketo.com. I will link to it in the description below. Let's get to making some grits. We'll start with 3/4 of a cup of water. That's 177 milliliters. To this, we will add 1/4 cup or 60 ml of heavy whipping cream, which I'll mix in just because I don't like that cloudy look. Then we're going to add 1/2 cup of ground lupin beans. That's 60 grams. We'll take our heat up to medium. Now, an induction plate heats up very, very quickly. In fact, it's only going to take about 30 seconds until this is bubbling and starting to thicken. Make sure you keep stirring, otherwise it can get a little bit spattery. It's been 1 more minute. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter here. I'm using unsalted. If you want to use salted, that's fine too. We'll take the heat down to low and continue to stir for another 30 seconds while that butter melts. Then we're going to add 1 4-ounce can of diced chilies. That's 113 grams. We'll stir that in, and then add 1 cup of packed sharp cheddar cheese. That's 85 grams. Stir this in until it completely melts. That'll take about another minute. Then we'll add a few grinds of fresh black pepper. And then stir for another minute or so, or until it reaches your desired consistency. And then we'll serve it up. And the taste test. Oh boy. Texture-wise, pretty close to grits. Flavor-wise, you're not going to mistake it for grits. It doesn't have that sort of corn taste that grits has. I'm not exactly sure how I would describe this, but it's very good. I mean, it's a little bit nutty, just a tiny little bit, and I'm not getting any of that sort of earthiness or slightly bitter flavor that sometimes you can get from lupin flour. I think this is the sort of recipe that you could modify any number of ways and have it come out great. I think you could add some bacon to this. I think you could add some scallion to this. I think anything that you might put on top of a loaded baked potato, you could probably put in this. I think you could go with an extra sharp cheddar if you wanted as well to kind of jack up that cheddar flavor. And also, if you wanted to cut the carbs by another gram, instead of using those canned chilies, you could just use some fresh jalapenos and dice them up. And that would amp up the spice a little bit, which is kind of my thing, but not so much my family's thing. Now I know that Samaya over at I Don't Sugarcoat also has a lupin grits recipe. I intentionally did not watch her video because I didn't want to be influenced by her, and I also think it's fun when you have 2 people approaching a recipe from perhaps different directions and seeing what they both come up with. But she is awesome, she does a lot with lupin, and I'm going to link down below in my description to her video, and you can check it out, see how 2 different people approach lupin. And if you enjoyed this video, please click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap that subscribe button, and then hit that bell and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. And lastly, if you'd like to help support the Serious Keto Test Kitchen, click that join button and see what memberships and perks are all about. Thanks for watching.